Yes, the San Jose Earthquakes. They scored 41 points last season, 20th in MLS, 10th in the West, 11 wins, 15 losses, 10 draws. They ended the season with a win. That's what I have for that. I don't know why I put that down, but they did. Head coach Bruce Arena. Their leading goal scorer was Joseph Martinez. He is gone, along with a lot of other people, a lot of big names. Chicho Arango was just sold. Christian Espinoza, Mark Anthony Kay's gone. Joseph Martinez gone. So, Christian, as we get into talking San Jose, they've got a completely different outlook than RSL. This team, we're going to talk about a big signing, but they've got some holes to fill as well.
I mean, you got to trust Bruce Arena, right? We're talking about a team who in 2024 had the wooden spoon, and you saw obvious improvement just from one season to the next. I feel like San Jose's defense really let them down as they were near the bottom in expected goals conceded. However, a good bright spot for them is they did thrive on set pieces, though, like you noted, Christian Espinoza is out the door to Nashville.
Yeah, and that's something that I wanted to bring up is their defense, as you stated, was a bit leaky last season, lack of a better word. But their offense really gelled on all cylinders. They averaged 1.76 goals per game is the number that I have down. They finished the season with a 3-goal differential. This was a team that really, for the most part, they allowed a goal, but then they scored a goal. So this was definitely like a 500 team when looking at, every time they scored, they kind of let one in as well. And that's kind of where their struggles came at last season. Obviously, Christian, I hit my mic. Let's not hide from it anymore. The big talking point is Timo Werner. Probably, arguably the biggest signing that MLS has had this offseason. Coming over from RB Leipzig. Obviously, he had time with Tottenham. This is a player who I have always loved as a soccer fan because my favorite Bundesliga team is RB Leipzig. I watched him when he was growing there. Then he went on to the Prem. Then he went back, and it seemed like ever since he went to the Prem, he was never the same player that he was on his first stint at Leipzig. But that first stint, this was a player, he could outrun anybody, I feel. He was absolutely deadly up at that number 9 position. I don't know why, but ever since his struggles at Tottenham, this has been a player that I've wanted to come to MLS. And I think this is someone who could rejuvenate his career here. And I am so, so excited to watch him play. And I'm interested, Christian, to hear how you think he could fare in MLS.
Yeah, I have in my notes, kind of as you brought up Timo Werner, that he's the elephant in the room, it appears, in San Jose right now. The PR department literally called him the biggest signing in San Jose history, which I would probably agree with. Werner has proven success in Europe, lifted the Champions League trophy with Chelsea, and now he aims to lift the MLS Cup.
And I think he has the perfect coach as well in Bruce Arena to come and have success in this league. And this is a player, I'm a little nervous who's going to be feeding him the ball. But this is a player who can create his own shot as well. And I really do expect him to contend for a Golden Boot. Like I'd be shocked if he doesn't. Like I think he's such a natural goal scorer. This is a type of signing that I think San Jose and their fans needed. This hasn't been a market that has gotten absolute mega superstars. And I'm not saying, obviously, Timo Werner isn't on the same level as like a Messi, obviously.
Well, at the end of the day, Timo Werner is he's going to get into dangerous areas. The biggest question with Timo Werner is can he finish at a consistent amount of time? Because that's the thing with Timo Werner is his finishing isn't as strong as his ability to get in those dangerous areas.
Well, I want to see RB Leipzig Timo Werner from the original days come back. Like that's the player that I want to see. So my question for you, Christian, is that player still there?
I think it's still there. We're not far removed from that. I think has moved to Chelsea, which we've seen a lot of younger players move to Chelsea and not quite meet that potential just because they have so many players on their payroll But then again, when he went to Tottenham, it was still a similar thing of just maybe the Premier League was above his ranking. He didn't really have as strong of a second run at Leipzig, but I think the MLS will be the question is, can Timo Werner go up against the physical center backs and still put the ball in the back of the net? That's the biggest question.
Let's talk about some of the other moves that they've made so far. A lot of players left the club. Mark-Anthony Kaye, option declined. Rodriguez, option declined. Joseph Martinez is gone. Bruno Wilson is gone. Chicho Arango, such an incredible goal scorer. I mean, we just had the honor of talking to Marcos there from RSL Bros. You know, he would be familiar with Chicho from his time in Real Salt Lake. And then Christian Espinoza off to Nashville. And Christian, you know, maybe we will talk a little bit more about Arango's departure, but let's start with Christian Espinoza. I know this is where you want to go because it's confusing, the decision to let him go here.
I mean, yeah, because you're just letting him go on free. At least with Arango, you're loaning him out with a chance of maybe him coming back. I doubt it because it seemed like he maybe wanted to go.
I think there's an option to buy with that as well. With that,
yeah, I think it seemed like he kind of wanted to go. But in the same respect, you're going to get money back from Arango. Whereas in Espinoza, this guy has really been, you know, their best player for a couple of years now. And like I stated earlier, he really led the way for them being amongst the top in set piece goals. I think just letting him go on a free kind of was a head scratcher.
Yeah, and, you know, we don't know the ins and outs. We don't know if – well, no, you said free, yeah. Never mind. I was going to say maybe they let him go to bring in Timo Werner. Like, we don't know the payroll and all that. But, like, at the end of the day, you still – bringing Timo in, you need a player to provide that input. You know, you can't just have Timo Werner and a bunch of scrubs and feel like you're going to dominate in this league or make noise in a very crowded Western Conference. So, you know, other than Timo, they signed Jack Jinski, a defender, through the expansion draft. So there hasn't really been much on the end. So they're pretty much running it back with Bruce Arena, which we've seen in the past. He finds success, you know, getting his guys.
They also brought in DeJuan Jones from Columbus, $175,000 in GAM, a guy who has experience working with Bruce Arena in New England. You know, 9 goals and 22 assists across 147 MLS starts. But this is a guy who also can kind of help bolster that defense. And Bruce Arena, I don't think is going to allow a second year of that kind of defense. You never really see a Bruce Arena defense be bad for multiple seasons.
And this team, they did miss the postseason last year, which is so weird for a Bruce Arena-led team, honestly, to miss the postseason. I mean, Christian, what's your ceiling for this team this year with the signings they've made at this point? Because as we continue to cover teams and learn more about certain teams that we talk about, I'm not high on San Jose. I'm not as high as I thought. Like, they're going to win games with Timo Werner. But if you look at the rest of their roster, that's where my fear comes in.
I mean, I think if Timo Werner can come in and put up those numbers that you were referencing that he could do, like he did this first stint at Leipzig, at that point you're talking, you know, a team that can compete for a wild card spot. So I would say that's probably their ceiling, would be right around where they were last year. Would probably be their ceiling. But then again, you think about bringing in a guy like Timo Werner. Could that not raise the ceiling a little bit more? I think it all depends on if he can come in and hit the ground running. That's really going to be what their ceiling is.
It's such a big signing for them. I'm really happy for this club, and that's a player that I really want to see play in MLS this season is Timo. Let's go ahead and get to my key to success. I know we haven't talked about much with this team, but there hasn't been much that has happened. My key to success, Timo Werner doesn't do much if you continue to concede goals. So solidify the back line to allow him to shine. That's what you need to do, because Timo, you know, he's going to bag you goal after goal after goal. You can't be conceding on the other end. So I think that's where I'm nervous going into the season. Is I'm very nervous about who they have playing in that back three or that back four. At times last season, they did a back three. So I'm interested to see their formation as well heading into this year. But obviously the focal point, the spotlight's going to be on Timo Werner.
I mean, yeah, starting off my number one X factor, Timo Werner, reputation versus reality. If Werner adapts to MLS spacing and tempo, he could easily be a 15 to 18 goal guy in his first season, simply off movement and chaos and creation. I think Bruce Arena teams live off strikers who stretch lines. Werner's off-ball runs could unlock even other players' potentials. Let's see. Bruce Arena's defensive reboot is my second. Like I said earlier, arena teams usually don't stay bad defensively for long, but San Jose has tested that reputation. 2025 showed signs of structure, but still too many transition goals conceded. I think if Arena finally settles on a double pivot that actually protects the center backs, San Jose will then jump to tiers. Third.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. I lost count.
Number 3, I have depth plus rotation in the summer. San Jose isn't deep. Let's just put it frank out there. If Arena is forced into heavy minutes for veterans, you see a late season drop off.
That's funny. I seriously thought you were on 3, so I was ready to. Oh my Lord, I just zoned out. No, I agree with every single thing that you said. And I love how you're putting the emphasis on Bruce Arena, because this is a guy that has found success. You know, one of the, if not the greatest MLS manager that we've seen kind of stick around the league. I know people are going to be like, hold on. There's been better managers. I'm talking about long-term MLS manager. This dude has found success in this league. What's the ceiling for San Jose at the end of the day, Christian? Like, with everything we're talking about in this, I'm telling you, the Western Conference is so loaded. Mm-hmm. I don't know if they have enough to get in the postseason. Maybe a wild card.
You asked me this when we were talking about Timo Werner. Pretty much the same question, but I still think it's the same. I think that you're finishing right about where you were last year, but we did see a big uptick from their 2024 to 2025. So I think their ceiling is 8th.
Well, that's what I was looking for. That's why I asked you again, because I wanted like an actual. I know I asked you already. Yeah, I'm just fumbling here. Absolutely fumbling. All right, let us know in the comments down below where you guys think San Jose is going to finish this season. We'll have to wait and see when their season kicks off.